Ace and I'm from Exclusive Tackle. We've put together a series of short clips to demonstrate the very basics of rod building. We all know how much fun it is to go build a rod and then catch a fish on something you built yourself. So with that in mind, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is determine the spine of the blank. The spine of the blank is basically the element of the blank that we need to determine to know where to put the guides and the reel seat. When building a fishing rod, we need to understand where the strength of our materials are so that we know and we design our rod around those strengths. When a rod is under load, and by under load I mean you've got a good fish or a good bend in the rod and the rod's working hard, the rod will want to sit in the strongest part of its curve. And if it isn't, if we don't design the rod around the spine of the rod, when it's under load, when it counts the most, and you're on a fish, the rod may want to twist in your hand, twist into its strongest position. So that's by doing this step, we can eliminate that. So to get started, firstly we need a rod blank, and we need a hard, smooth surface. In this case, I'm going to use a plate on top of the table so that you can see what I'm doing. But in a normal scenario, a tiled floor is ideal. On a two-piece blank, we're going to first find the spine of the top half of the rod. So what we do is, we have to put the blank under load. Now by putting under load, I mean pushing down with my left hand, and I'm pushing down with my left hand and up with my right hand. And that will put this tip under load, this top section. And then I will, with my left hand, I'm going to spin this blank around. And I'm going to spin it around and look and feel for where it wants to get stuck. It will stop at a certain point, and it will be hard to spin it out of that point. Now that point that it's hard to spin out of, or the part that, i.e. the part that it wants to stop at, that is actually the spine. The spine is the natural resting spot. It's very common for blanks to have two separate spines. What you're looking for is the most prominent spine. It will have one that is stronger than the other. And the one that is harder to spin the blank out of is the one that's the most prominent one. So here we go. See, that's wanted to rest there. I'll spin it again. And there it goes, rest again, same at the one point. This blank happens to have only one spine, which makes it a bit easier. If it had two, I'd be trying to spin it in and out of both spines to see which one is the strongest one. But clearly that is the strongest spine, that is the spine there. So here you can see the marking that I've put on the blank, where I think the spine is. Now I'm going to twist it with my hand, and you'll see how it pops back into that same spot. Twist it again, didn't work that time. So twist it again, there you go, pop back in. I'll go the other way, pops back into the same spot. So we've found the spine of the top section of the blank. And now we need to try and find the spine of the bottom section so that we've got a whole blank on the right spine. So the way we do that is that we put these two together now, and we roll it around and see where the resulting spine is. So this will have a spine. We know this spine's there, and we'll see where the average of those spines are, and then we'll turn these around to find where both spines actually align, and I'll show you what I mean. So I've put it in any position, connected the two. Now I'll put this into a working curve, and I'll make sure that the bottom half of the rod is actually working as well. And you'll see how the spine of the two has the top section off its spine. So I will twist that around just a bit, and do the same process again. And now the the resulting spine of the two is, I've gone a little bit too far, so I'll move it back. What I'm trying to achieve is to have the spine of the top aligned to the spine of the whole rod. And that's done it. So now when I spin the two together, the spine of the top is equal to the spine of the bottom, and we've found the spine of the whole blank. So what I'll do from here is put some masking tape around that and mark the bottom half of the blank where the spine is. With the rod, we have found that the rod wants to sit in that position when it's loaded. And that means that if I'm building a spinning rod where the guides are on the underside of the rod, the reel seat will be on the inside of the curve and the guides will be on the inside of the curve here. But if you're building an overhead rod, obviously the guides and the reel seat are on the other side. So with an overhead rod, the reel seat will sit on this side of the curve and the guides will sit on this side of the curve. And that's how we find the spine.